Thank you everyone, thank you.
Welcome to the 2024 Superhero Awards. I'm your host Neon Nerds and let's get right into it. This year has been a good year for superhero content. Marvel released some actual good projects this year, the DCEU only dropped half a show, and everything else that is DC related wasn't really part of the wider DCU just yet. The Boys returned this year, even Invincible, and of course Sony dropped 3 projects in 1 year, a record for Sony, and we ended the year with the masterpiece that is Sonic 3. But before I get to talking about the movies, we must start giving out best and worst awards to the first things we see when a movie releases, and that is the posters.
We are Venom.
Before I begin handing out the awards for the posters though, I just want to say that I will purely consider the posters of movies and shows that have come out in 2024, as it only seems fair to judge it based on the whole thing rather than just the first look. So this poster for Captain America 4 will be next year's one, but in case you were wondering, this definitely would have won this year. The worst poster has to be by far the main poster for Agatha All Along. Like, there's just too many people on this poster. I mean, I understand wanting to have everyone in the show in the poster, but at the same time it does kind of overcrowd the poster and it looks a bit messy. Like, I prefer this one of just Agatha compared to this one, but it definitely isn't a poster you would look at and think, oh, that's pretty cool. And by no means is this my view on the show. This is purely my thoughts on the poster. And as a result, it is the worst one of all the ones that have come out for 2024 projects, and so this wins the award. The best one, on the other hand, goes to this one from Deadpool and Wolverine, because it pretty much sums up the entire movie in a single poster. It gives us an exact idea of what the movie's about, but also isn't overcrowded with everyone in the movie. And usually Deadpool does have such plain, simple posters that are also just very pleasant to look at. And an honorable mention goes to every poster featuring Shadow. He's just too cool and has so much aura. Next up we have the trailers.
You're a colorful bunch.
Now these are usually our second look at projects that release throughout the year, and so a good trailer can really make
Let's go!
or break the hype for the movie. Like, take the Thunderbolts trailer. I had no hype for this movie before the trailers had released, but now it's one of my most anticipated projects of 2025. So that shows what a good trailer can really do. Now, by using the same rules as before, by only considering the trailers for movies and shows that came out in 2024, the worst one has many contenders. Because as I said, a trailer is there to cause hype, and for movies like Madam Web, which left us with more questions than hype when watching the trailers, it becomes hard to actually consider a good one. But there is also one big thing that trailers should never do, and that is spoil the surprises in the movies, because that ruins all the fun, even if everyone did know that these surprises were coming. So as a result, the worst trailer award goes to the final trailer of Deadpool and Wolverine, which is something I didn't expect to say this year.
Oh, that sounds bad.
But the final trailer was such a good cut trailer, besides for like the last 10 seconds or so, and then it spoils Lady Deadpool, Laura, and many other things. I mean, Marvel had to release this trailer because Daphne Keane was keen
Say that again?
on going to the premiere of the movie, so they had to reveal that she was in the movie. They didn't need to spoil Lady Deadpool and the Deadpool Corps, not just in this trailer but also in the million other TV spots that they had. And the best trailer goes to the first Sonic trailer, because it gave us the right amount of shadow for us to be hyped for the film, but it also didn't give away many of the other surprises in the movie.
4 in the car park, a book of the Bevo.
Now let's talk about the shows, because we've had a wide range of shows. We had The Boys Season 4, the rest of Invincible Season 2, The Knuckles Show, Echo, Agatha, X-Men 97, and even The Penguin Show. Now, full disclosure, I haven't seen The Penguin yet because HBO Max isn't in the UK and I haven't found the time to actually find and watch the show, so I won't be considering it in this, but I've pretty much seen everything else. And for the worst show of the year, it has to be Echo. Now don't get me wrong, this doesn't mean that it's a bad show, and it's definitely not as bad as Secret Invasion, but out of all the shows that have come out this year, it was pretty much a tie between Echo and Knuckles. But Knuckles was bad because of bad writing. It wasn't like a boring plot to watch. You could still sit through all the episodes of Knuckles and you would somewhat enjoy it. But Echo was boring. Besides the first episode which showed Daredevil, everything else you don't really care. Like, they even had Kingpin in the show, but they couldn't make the show any more interesting than it was. Like, the first episode was a glimpse of what the show could have been. The rest of the show was mainly just Echo getting in touch with her family's past, but they could have done it in a way that was much more interesting and less boring to watch. But that bit where she does summon all of the powers of her ancestors to beat Kingpin was kind of cool. I'll give it that. And as for the best show, this one came out of nowhere but surprised us all. And that is Agatha All Along. The whole premise behind this show was questioned by pretty much everyone who wasn't a Wanda stan. Like, did we really need an Agatha show? But now it's somewhat the best thing Marvel has made on Disney Plus for a while. This show is a prime example of what Disney Plus should be used for.
How long I've been waiting for this?
Now before I get to the main award, I would like to give out an award to the best new superhero introduced this year in the movies. There isn't a worst in this category, as there are only usually 1 or 2 who are introduced this year, so it doesn't seem fair. But this year did give us the likes of Firecracker and Sister Sage in The Boys Season 4, who are both such well written characters. Like, everyone wanted to probably punch Firecracker in the face at many points throughout the season, but her giving Homelander what he wants doesn't quite match the aura that this hero has. Shadow even could be considered, but he is kind of bad in this movie, so if in Sonic 4 he does become good, he'll probably win then. And so the best new superhero introduced this year is none other than the man who's been waiting for this for so long.
Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Gambit. We can see through Channing Tatum's performance that he was born for this role and how much this role means to him. So him finally getting redemption after the many failed attempts of trying to make a movie has led to this masterpiece.
I am Marvel Jesus.
It's now time for the main award you've all been waiting for, the best and the worst movie of the year. Now for the worst, Sony kinda gave us both the main contenders, but out of the 2 masterpieces they had given us, Madam Web takes the award. Like, it was just so bad, and I mean undefendably bad. Craven was boring that it was bad and there was no plot, but somehow Madam Web was worse. Craven still has places where it does redeem itself to not win this award, however Madam Web can't do that. Whether it be the villain dubbing over all of his lines so that nothing he ever says is in sync with his mouth, or just the fact that they introduced 3 Spider Women that we don't really care about. But the memes that came out of it was kind of funny, so I'll give it that. And as for the best film of the year, it too has 2 split contenders, Deadpool, Wolverine and Sonic 3. Both are amazing movies with deeper layers of themes and character building. Like in Deadpool, the whole arc of the 2 main leads is that they are outcasts who feel insignificant compared to everyone else, but by the end they realize that they are significant to the ones they care about, but they also learn what it means to be a hero. Similarly, Sonic 3 shows us what would have happened had Sonic not had people to care for him and to guide him down the right path, but it also shows us that it's never too late to change and to find people who care about you. And also Keanu Reeves being in this is a massive plus. But Sonic 3 did come out like a few weeks ago, so there is still somewhat of a recency bias or a honeymoon phase with this movie, and it will still probably take a few more weeks to overcome, and for that reason Deadpool and Wolverine wins the best movie of the year. But next year does seem like it has some tough competition, so be sure to be subscribed so that you can see when my thoughts on those movies drop, and comment below your thoughts on these awards, and happy new year to you all.